In 1951, a 24-year-old newlywed, pregnant, and sitting at her yellow Formica kitchen table, spent $2,000 of her wedding gift money on a tiny ad in a teen magazine. She had no warehouse, no employees, no business plan, just a kitchen table and a stack of index cards. By the time she was done, she'd built one of the largest mail-order catalog empires in American history, and become the first woman to take a company she founded onto the American Stock Exchange. Her name was Lillian Vernon. And her story is proof that empires don't always start with funding. Sometimes they start with a $495 ad and absolute certainty. Subscribe if you love these stories, because this one's full of lessons. Lillian wasn't born Lillian Vernon. She was born Lilly Menashe, in Leipzig, Germany, into a Jewish family that fled the Nazis when she was just a child. Her family lost almost everything and rebuilt their lives from scratch in New York. That experience of starting over with nothing shaped everything about how she'd later build a business. Let's break down the 3 moves that turned a kitchen table side hustle into a $300 million a year company. Prove the idea small before you go big. Lillian didn't quit her life to chase a business. She placed one small ad, a sixth of a page in 17 magazine, offering a monogrammed leather handbag and matching belt. That single ad brought in $32,000 worth of orders within 3 months. That's when she knew she had something real. She didn't need a warehouse or a team to find that out. She needed one cheap experiment and a way to measure the response. Real-world parallel. Jamie Kern Lima, founder of IT Cosmetics, built her first products in her living room after being turned down by retailer after retailer who told her nobody wanted makeup for problem skin. She didn't wait for a big investor to validate the idea. She sold directly to customers on QVC first, proved people actually wanted it, and years later sold the company to L'Oreal for $1.2 billion. The lesson: you don't need permission or a big launch to test whether an idea works. You need the smallest possible version of it, out in front of real customers. Find the gap everyone else ignored at the time. The only catalogs in America were giants like Sears and Montgomery Ward, massive, big books that sold everything to everyone. Lillian looked at that landscape and saw an opening nobody else was chasing: personalization. She offered free monogramming on almost everything she sold, at a time when having your initials on something felt special, not generic. She wasn't trying to out Sears. She built something Sears wasn't built to do. Real-world parallel. Decades later, Emily Weiss did something similar with Glossier. The beauty industry was dominated by huge legacy brands selling one-size-fits-all glamour. Instead of competing head-on, Weiss built an audience first through her blog, Into the Gloss, listening to what real women actually wanted from their skincare and makeup, and turned that specific, listened-to niche into a billion-dollar beauty brand. The lesson: you rarely win by doing what the giants already do well. You win by noticing what they're structurally unable to offer, and building precisely that protect what you built, even when it's hard. When Lillian divorced her husband and business partner in 1969, she didn't walk away from the company. She kept the catalog and, crucially, kept her customer mailing lists, the actual engine of the business. She guarded that list obsessively for decades, once furious that banks wouldn't even recognize it as an asset worth protecting. Later, when she took the company public in 1987, she sold only 35% of the stock. She kept the rest, and kept control of the vision she'd spent over 30 years building. Real-world parallel. Look at Kendra Scott, founder of the jewelry brand that bears her name. Early on, she nearly lost everything and rebuilt with just $500. As the company grew, she stayed deeply protective of ownership and decision-making, keeping a majority stake even as the brand expanded into a billion-dollar company, because she understood that control over your own name and vision is worth more than a quicker payday. The lesson: growth is exciting, but what you protect along the way often matters more than what you gain. So here's Lillian Vernon's empire, in 3 moves. She proved her idea small before scaling it big. She found the exact gap the giants of her industry couldn't fill. And she protected the core of what she built, her list, her name, her control. Even when giving pieces of it away would have been the easier path, a kitchen table. An index card system. Absolute certainty. That's genuinely how this empire started, so let me ask you this. What's the small ad version of your idea? The smallest possible way you could test it this week. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, tell me in the comments. I want to know what you're building. If this story inspired you, hit subscribe, because every week on this channel, we dig into another woman who built an empire the world almost overlooked. And if someone in your life needs to hear that empires can start at a kitchen table, send them this video. I'll see you in the next one.